That's a freaking sweet shirt, huh? Yeah. So yesterday I did that long walk through like the jungle or something, and the camera died halfway. I was pretty sad about that because we came out right here in the back of those trees. We had no idea where we were. We didn't know if it'd go to the main road or have to turn around. Maybe there's a bunch of houses, but we came out right there and we saw the guy sitting in the middle of the weeds with his cow and goats, his little tiny baby goats. And Judea, she's not shy, she's like, hey, can we walk through your yard or whatever field? So yeah, of course, I'll show you the way. They're just so friendly in the Philippines. You try doing that in Colorado or Texas, you get shot. Get off my land. But we came out right here. This little pathway all the way to the main road. Pretty sweet. I didn't know, yeah, I didn't know that was there. I'd love to have a house back there someday. Damn, it's super hot. But I'm out walking again because for reasons unknown, I need a haircut. So Alex is coming to pick me up, and we're gonna go get a haircut. And yes, don't worry guys, I pay him to drive us around. I mean, it's better to pay a local than to buy a car that I'm never gonna use or whatever. Help support his family. So we pay him good, fill his gas, and on little crappy drives where it's not very far, like today, we get a haircut together. So he gets a haircut with me. If we go out to eat, he eats with me and we give him stuff to take home. So yeah, don't worry, I take care of Alex. And then he makes a real salary when we go diving, which is often. Maybe that's why I'm broke all the time. Freaking diving.
Critter hunter.
Just look at that clearing in the palm trees. I mean, these are mango trees, but over there, all those palm trees. Wouldn't that be an awesome place for a house? One day I'm gonna build a house here for sure. Just so peaceful. Yeah, speaking of Alex, I've been getting so many requests to come diving with me. I gotta walk in the shade. But it's just too hard to do. I can't make an episode if I'm diving in a group. I mean, I'm really boring to dive with. Sometimes I'll spend like 10 minutes on one little critter in the mud, you know, and I don't go anywhere. I mean, that last dive a few days ago, well, not last dive, but I spent 15 minutes just following around those flamboyant cuttlefish. So you can imagine how boring it would be to dive with me. But anyways, because of all you guys' requests, keep hitting me up. I'm gonna organize one day a month where I just do fun dives and anybody can join me. So hit me up. I got an email in the description below. If you're in Philippines, or especially Dauin, Dumaguete, Valencia, hit me up if you want to come diving with me and the local expats that join, and we'll organize something once a month. And borders are opening. My friend arrives today. You guys are gonna see that on the next episode. I just saw Alex drive by. Now he's caused a traffic jam and I kind of feel bad. Yeah. Filipino rap. Let's get our haircut. Dude, I look like Mr. T. What do you think, Alex? What one are you gonna get?
Maybe Start the one.
We gotta look good for those critters. You're next. Looking sexy, Alex. All right, let's go home. I got stuff to charge so we can go diving. Now it's my favorite time of the day, night diving. And the first thing I run into is this giant black frogfish. And this giant one was right next to the black one and bigger than a basketball. He was huge. He was a lot more colorful than the black one and a little bit more detailed. So I stuck with him for a minute. You can never go wrong with frogfish. The next little dude, of course, is a candy crab. This is the Mayan 2 Big Pier, and it's pretty well known for all the candy crabs. So even though these guys are in a lot of episodes, I couldn't really just pass them up. This little guy followed me around for a while. I'm not sure why he was up past his bedtime. This little scorpion fish was hidden in the sand and just waiting for me to put my hand on him so he could sting me. I actually think he was happy that I turned on the light so that the little tiny fish were attracted to it and he could get a bite. Of course, every whip coral I find, I search for a Xeno crab, and I finally found one. I love these little guys. They're so unique looking. I mean, can you spot the crab in this clip? He's just hanging on with all his little legs around that whip coral, and then his pointy little nose kind of looks like a rhinoceros. I really got to test out the TG6 on this one because this little whip coral doesn't exactly hold still. It's just waving in the current, and it's not the easiest thing to film. Here you can see another angle of this guy. You gotta love little Xeno crabs. They're so colorful and so unique. All in all, he's probably about ½ an inch long. Real long and skinny, but still pretty dang small. And has some really good camouflage as well. So yeah, these guys you never want to pass up. So if you're diving in the Philippines, very carefully check all the little whip corals you see, and maybe there'll be one of those little dudes hanging on. This cockatoo wasp fish always makes me laugh. This little guy had a big old mohawk, and they like to just sit in the sand and kind of drift around like a sail in the current. They just kind of wobble back and forth as the current pushes them. And this guy was actually here on my last dive too. I was surprised to find him in the same spot. I really like filming these little dudes. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm pretty spoiled because on any other dive in any other country, I'd be very lucky to find this many critters on one dive. But here in the Philippines, this is just a typical night out. I don't know what kind of nudibranch this is, but it was very colorful. Maybe it's a little dragon nudie or something. I don't know, but I saw quite a few of them on this night. And I love filming these guys. You can see their weird little pattern thingies on their back that look like little bubbles. This guy was awesome. So of course I wasn't going to pass him up. I just love the colors on this new camera. And just so you guys know, there's no color grading on this video. And then this night turned into to be a good night for bobtail squid. I found a few of them, and every time they saw me and I saw it, I'd turn on the lights and he would bury himself in the sand. The cutest thing ever. Then I would move on. I'd find another one, usually in this blue, purplish color, and even changing colors. Sometimes they didn't hide, but usually when I turned on the lights and tried to film them, they drop down and just bury themselves in the sand, thinking they're hiding. It's just so cute. This little guy didn't have a lot of sand, he had a bunch of rocks, but he still tried to bury himself, and it was hilarious. What they like to do is bury themselves and they'd clear a little spot for their eyes so they could peek out. Well, since this guy had more rocks, he was like, "You can't see me if I put a rock on my head. You can't see me with my invisibility hat." This guy is hilarious. You can see why I love filming these little guys. Maybe it's the season, but I've been seeing a lot of these lately. Anyways, just look at this one dive and imagine how many critters you could find in a week. You just gotta love the Philippines.